Hi, this is Sue Westerdale again. So this is number 2 video, and last week I talked about foundation and how to get it on your face without getting it all in your lines and wrinkles. So this week I'm going to talk about contouring, and I think it's something that is really trendy at the moment. A lot of older women think it's just for young girls, but it's absolutely not. In fact, I think that we, us older ladies, probably need it more than the younger ladies, and it can make a massive difference to your overall makeup. So I'm actually only going to contour one side of my face because I want you to see what a difference the contouring does. Now, for contouring you need concealer and you need a darker foundation or a blusher or a, not blusher, bronzer or a pressed powder that's darker than your foundation shade, and the concealer is going to be lighter. Now, I tend to use 2 concealers, one for covering my age spots. So I've got an age spot going on there, and I've got 1 or 2 on my face. I'm just going to do this one for now to show you. So this concealer is just 1 shade lighter than my foundation. And as you can see, in seconds, that's a pretty good way, pretty good job of covering up those blemishes. However, concealer now is not just used for covering blemishes or just covering bags under your eyes. It's to actually bring light to your face so that you can define it. So we're using darker shades of foundation or like bronzer and lighter shades of concealer to bring definition to the face. So I'm just going to demonstrate what I mean here. So this is another liquid concealer, only this one is 2 shades lighter, and I'm just going to pop a couple of little, now this goes a long way, so I normally recommend to ladies to just put a little bit on the back of the hand, but I'm used to this particular product and application, so I do put it straight on. And in my video last week I said about not putting your foundation right up to your lash line, and that's because you don't really need foundation and concealer under your eyes, because all you're doing is doubling the amount of product over a really delicate eye area. And a lot of us, let's face it, our age, we've got a lot of little saggy baggy bits going on there, and so we don't want foundation and concealer clogging and settling in those pesky little lines. So that's why I tend to avoid putting foundation right up to my eyes. I tend to sort of stop about here, and then I just use the concealer. But even with the concealer, I'm not going right up into my lashes. I am leaving a very small margin. Otherwise, your eye can look a bit puffy. Now, if you've got particularly dark discoloration around your eyes, you're sort of a bit tired, some people go a bit, what do they call it now? It's almost like a haunted look where it's dark in there. You know, you can pop some of this concealer just in the corner of your eyes to brighten your eye up a little bit. And if you're not going to wear eye makeup, oh, I've put way too much on then. If you're not going to wear eye makeup, you can put it over your lid as well. And you can use it also as a base, I suppose, for eye makeup if you're not going to use a concealer. A primer, an eye primer. Right, so you can see already that that has brightened my eye up a little bit, even though I've got it all way too much on. So after I've just said that I'm used to this product, I've now put way too much on. Hopefully that doesn't look too bad now. But you can see how it's lighter under my eyes. I don't just put it on the baggy bits here. I go down in a sort of V and right across cheekbone here. And people say, oh, I haven't got any cheekbones, but you know, we've all got cheekbones. So just putting it across the top of the cheekbones causes a sort of reflection. And the other thing you can do with concealer, with contouring, which I suggest to older ladies like myself who have got lines here, is just pop a little bit there, tap it in, and of course you can use a beauty blending bud, and I'm sure there will be people here thinking, why is she using her fingers? I just prefer to use my fingers. It's personal choice, because I like the warmth from the pad of my finger. I can feel how hard I'm pressing, and the warmth of my finger just sort of melts the concealer a little bit more, so it's more malleable to work with. And you can also, if you've got, say, lines here, and I put a little bit on the end of my nose as well. And this is what they call highlighting. So highlighting is not just using like a silvery white stick in a stripe on your face. Highlighting is just using a lighter shade, and concealer's the easiest product to use to just give a little bit of definition to your face. So you can see on that side compared to that side how already my skin's looking a little bit brighter. The overall look is a little bit brighter. So my eye looks brighter, the corner of my eye doesn't look as tired, and it looks like I've got sort of light reflecting from my nose. And also the paler shade of concealer in those lines there, it just makes those less obvious. Can you see? So then the contouring, the other part of contouring is putting shadow on your face. So that helps to define, sort of sculpture the face, I suppose. And you can use, as I said when we started, something like a darker foundation, a cream foundation, or a pressed powder foundation, or a bronzer. I tend to use a bronzer. I just like the warmth of the bronzer. So you need a tapered brush, and you start off by sort of tapping it under, so where your cheekbone is there, from your hairline. But ladies, whatever you do, don't take it down here. I see it all the time, and it just is an awful look. If you take the bronzer when you're contouring too far down here, then because as we get older, the elasticity of our skin, our cheeks tend to drop, and then it looks like we've got these two dirty marks here, and it just drags the face down. So we're going to just keep that tucked in under there, under the cheekbone. So immediately that creates what looks like a nice sort of chiseled cheekbone. I'm going to blend that in a minute, so I'm not going to just leave it like that. Then, depending on if you've got saggy baggy jowls like I have, I tend to put a little bit of contouring bronzer along the jawline. That's just to create a shadow, so that you see that, you can see it's white, it's hanging down, that saggy jowl. That one, okay, it's still there, but it's a bit of an optical illusion and it's not quite as obvious. You can then pop a little bit on your forehead, just in your hairline here, and again that just gives a little bit of definition to your face, because as you get older you lose the definition of your face because your muscles are all floppy, unfortunately, and loose. Your skin isn't as tight as it was, and so by putting light and shadow in certain places on your face, you can do it down the side of your nose, you're giving yourself a more sculptured look. And you can even put it under your bottom lip to create a bit of a shadow so that your bottom lip looks more pouty. I then like to finish with a little bit of blusher. Not a lot, just a tiny bit, because I don't have any colour in my face at all. And obviously if you've got foundation on, you're covering your natural colour anyway, so it's nice just to have. And again, don't put it on the apples of your cheeks, because if you do that when you're smiling, you put it on the apple and then you put your face down as normal, you've got this pink down here. So we're keeping it all up so that it brings your face back into what appears to be a nice high cheekbone. So you can use a little bit of highlighter if you like on your eye, or just across here, but for a daily look I don't tend to. I just like to do a little bit of this highlighting and contouring, and I think if you just look at the two sides, you can see quite a big difference. And when you've got your eye makeup on as well, it makes a huge difference. So that is contouring for the older gal.